So I know now the conversation has been swept under the rug a little bit because of the announcement of the live event, but I did want to touch on this topic for a video. We may be facing a rebrand of Fortnite, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle, I am your guy with many YouTube channels. So I'm going to read you the post by FN News over here. We're going to get into my thoughts, and we're going to get the Fortnite community's reaction to get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. So in a new interview with the game business, Tim Sweeney has hinted at a potential rebrand for the app currently known as Fortnite. The future of Epic is in developing a huge variety of awesome games in different genres. Everything we develop in the future is going to be centrally and economically interconnected to this thing we have here, which is the app currently known as Fortnite. Now, a lot of people took this and go, looks like he wants to change the identity of Fortnite. I see it, and I don't like it, man. I don't like it. Now, I don't think it's a big deal right now because it could just mean something like they're going to change the metaverse. Fortnite's discovery isn't going to be called the metaverse. Like, we don't know exactly what part about Fortnite is going to get a rebrand, but if they're talking about Fortnite itself getting a rebrand, then I absolutely hate that. I think it's going to be another one of those things, but I think it's even bigger. Like, well, at least bigger to, I guess it depends who you are, right? Because I was going to say it could be like another situation where it's just completely unnecessary to rebrand, like how Twitter is now X. What are they going to call Fortnite? And this is where I find myself agreeing with people that Fortnite is losing its identity a little bit. Like, Fortnite's still great. Fortnite's not on a downhill slope or anything like that. But there are a lot of little things that was so lively, so charming about Fortnite. And this is something that I agree with when people say Fortnite's lost its charm. That I agree with. Where it's like the little things, like why'd they change the font? You know, all of it, like these little things that they keep picking out makes it kind of feel like, oh, it's just this metaverse vibe game. And I get that that's what they're going for, but why can't you still have that under the umbrella of Fortnite? But on the other side of the coin, I've seen a little bit of conversation about this, and some people have brought up the idea of like maybe they would want to rebrand Fortnite into another game because a lot of people automatically look Fortnite and just go, ugh, that kid's game, you know, but that's not what Epic Games wants down the road. I don't know how much of the population does that in order to like actually justify a rebrand, because from my perspective, it's not a good idea. But I am just a guy who plays Fortnite. And this is another problem that I have with a lot of people is everybody acts like, everybody likes to sit down and act like they know better than Tim Sweeney. Yeah, you might know better when it comes to like actually like some certain gameplay mechanics or all that. But when it comes to business, when it comes to being something as like, as grand as a potential rebrand, we don't know anything about it. And I know you watching this video, you might have some business degree or something. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you're a little bit of an exception. But even then, nobody is as successful as Tim Sweeney. So that conversation's always bothered me a little bit because it's not just people disagreeing with this. It's not like what I'm doing and what a lot of people in this community have been doing, which I'm very grateful for you guys because we have a lot of like really nice, like connected conversations. It's really cool. But there's a lot of people like, oh my God, this idiot again. Like, I don't know how you can sit there and say somebody as successful as that person is a flat out idiot. But of course, it's not just about what I think. I wanted to get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. And I closed the tab. Excuse me. There we go. I posted this over on X. Going to make a video on this as well. If you have any thoughts, drop them below and I will include some. Thank you again for your time. So if you would like to join the conversation, guys, follow me over on X at Clen YouTube, or you can check the links at the top of the description with the link tree or the direct link to X within the description down below as well. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Let's hear what everybody else had to say about this. The Origin Nala had this to say. This rebranding is nonsense. It's literally 8 years later. I get that Fortnite no longer wants to be just a BR game, but this name changing of a game is way too far. The name Fortnite is just an iconic name that can never be replaced. It will always be Fortnite no matter what. I get that, but in time, just like X, and I know that there are still people, and I know that it will still take time, that eventually everyone's going to call this platform X. Eventually everybody's going to call Fortnite whatever it may be if they're going to rebrand. But again, I should have mentioned this earlier. I don't mind the idea of rebranding like the word metaverse into, I don't know what you would even call it. I don't even know what you like. I don't even know what another word for metaverse is, to be honest with you. PBJ had this to say, Fortnite rebranding their whole name would be a terrible idea. Keep it Fortnite and just start branding within Fortnite. Unless they're making more than Fortnite that's connected to Fortnite, but that also Fortnite should stay the same. But with everything they're adding, like the new Disney mode that's apparently coming, even Fortnite Ballistic, things like that, that's all within the app currently known as Fortnite. So it doesn't make sense. I have to think like it's tough because again, I don't want to look at somebody like Tim Sweeney who's making such a grand decision like that and go, yeah, that's stupid, but I can't help but think it's kind of dumb. You know? I hope you guys understand where my mind's at right here. What I do understand is that if you want to rebrand the metaverse, then I kind of get that. But as long as it's all under Fortnite, that's what's tough. Lulu had this to say. An interesting survey question to Epic is asking if you could name the full What? If you could name the full platform where all Fortnite experience is live, what would you call it? They might do a different platform to act as the metaverse. Oh, maybe that's what it is. I did not know, and we have these replies gathered for video. That's very interesting. Okay. So it does look like that's the case. They're not going to rebranding Fortnite. If they do that, then I really don't think it's a big deal, to be honest with you. A lot of people in the comments over here are saying things like 0.0 verse. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it would be cool to like have something a little bit similar to Fortnite, which would be Zero. I don't know if Zeroverse would do it. You could do Omniverse, but then again, I don't know. That's tough. I'd have to really sit down and think about that. Fortnite News continued, had another reply saying, personally, I don't think this is a good idea at all. Even if you want to expand the metaverse to appeal towards more players, you are also stripping away the uniqueness of what made Fortnite special in the first place. Sure, the metaverse has good qualities, but come on. And yeah, it's important to note if you're brand new to this channel, guys, happen to be coming across this video, I am for the metaverse. I think Fortnite's going to be very successful, but I don't know about rebranding Fortnite, but it doesn't look like now moving forward that it is going to be rebranding Fortnite. But at the end of the day, they've already stripped away so much about what was unique about it. And they're like really, really working towards the metaverse. So how much longer can we hold on to that Fortnite? You know, Ragnar had this to say. My guess is when they officially make Fortnite a metaverse platform, they'll rebrand as something like Metaverse. It'll harm Fortnite's identity a bit, in my opinion. Realistically, it's just a name change, but I feel it's unnecessary. It'll be another, oh, that's what I said. It'll be another Twitter to X situation. That's how I feel about it. It's still going to be successful. It's still going to be fine. Everybody's going to call it Fortnite until like years down the road where things change. Like I said, eventually everybody's going to be calling this X. I don't see the appeal to it. The only thing I can think of is like appealing to players who automatically look at Fortnite and go, you know, there's a lot of people like that. So I don't know, man. They're really, really turning into Roblox here. Okay. From what I'm reading, Emmanuel had to say, I don't think they want to rebrand the name Fortnite itself, but rather the name of the metaverse. And I'm a little hesitant. Like, if they want a metaverse to succeed, wouldn't keeping the name Fortnite be better? Fortnite is a household name. I feel like if they change the name of it, things would only get worse. The metaverse has been helped a lot of Fortnite players brand, like Tim is a genius. Love that. Tim is a genius, man, but as a CEO, he's a little questionable in some of his takes and decisions. But I'm starting to think that they're going to change the name of the metaverse once they push out the Disney mode, which should come out in 2026 according to leaks. So not too far from now, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Dude, could you imagine if it's something Disney related? I don't know, man. There something about Disney Plus coming into Fortnite too. I could be wrong about that. I thought I heard something along those lines. You know, Disney could be pulling the strings behind the scenes. But yeah, I'm with Emmanuel like that. It's a little tough to like not question the idea of like rebranding Fortnite, right? Dylan had this to say. My crackhead theory is that they're going to rebrand Fortnite when and shortly after the Disney mode drops, of course, like right after we talk about it, right? Yeah, I would imagine like if there is a rebrand, now that I'm thinking a little bit more about it, Disney might actually be the issue with the rebrand here. We want it to be like happy. We want it to be magical. Honestly, they should stop trying to be the next Roblox and focus on bringing back the magic that was in the game. They got to put more resources into live events and heck, even into modes that do deserve the spotlight as well. Get rid of the modes that nobody wants and are failing. Well, the thing is, these modes take time. Just like Fortnite takes time, the metaverse is a good thing. Bringing a bunch of players into different experiences, and down the road, this is absolutely going to succeed. A lot of people get stuck on the, oh, I'm not interested in this, and I'm comparing this to the biggest game of all time's numbers, and obviously it's failing. Like, Lego's not failing. Ballistic's fine. It'll all be okay, and these things take time to flush out. Let's hear what Eldarin Games had to say. I believe it's just rebranding of the metaverse to something that's not generally associated with a kid's game, which is smart. My brother who loves Guitar Hero won't download Festival simply because of the name. It works in reverse too. When Disney puts out their gaming hub in the metaverse, a mom might say, I'd let my 5-year-old play, but Fortnite is a game with guns without doing the proper research. There would be a lot of, this is Disney fault, they're evil, but I assure you it's okay. Wow. That is actually the best take that we've taken a look at today. You know what? Eldarin just won me over. That's you just completely won me over, Eldarin, if you're watching this video. That's probably it. Because we're talking about the app currently known as Fortnite. We know Disney's going to be involved. We know Disney is already involved with Epic Games. They're having their big mode come out. That makes complete sense. Please comment down below, guys. Timestamp this if you have anything to say, because I think Eldarin's actually right. Just completely won me over. Phenomenal comment, well said. But let me stop you for just a second because we do have more opinions to take a look at, guys. As you might know with these videos, I had been advertising my supporter creator code. I ask that if you do not have a code that you are currently using in the item shop, you consider using my code, Code Clen. I have been working as hard as I can on YouTube in order to make enough money, give my family a good life, and I want to provide for them the way my father provided for me. So you guys been giving me some breathing room each month as of right now. It's been helping a ton. So again, I ask that if you do not have a code that you are currently using in the item shop, you consider using my code, Code Clen. Thank you to the people who used it. Thank you for listening. Let's hear what everybody else had to say about this, okay? There was another post by Dylan, okay? I definitely say it's not a smart decision, that's for sure. Fortnite has become a household name over the last 8 years. All it's going to do is damage reputation, and literally nobody will call it by its new name. It's like Twitter and X. People still call it Twitter after 2 years. But again, in time, people are going to call it X. I already call it X now. It's going to happen. It just takes time. But rebranding is a massive decision. But I'm now reading these comments after what Eldarin said. I'm kind of like, yeah, no, that makes sense. I hate that Tim is just completely ignoring the fan base. If he does rebrand, Epic will lose so much money. That's just, I don't know what to say, man. Unfortunately, that's just not going to be the case. Sonic User had this to say. He's talking about rebranding the Metaverse, not the actual name of Fortnite. Plus, I don't think he said anything about changing Fortnite's name. That would be a stupid decision. I believe he's solely talking about the future of the Metaverse in Fortnite, and I don't believe he mentioned changing the name of the game. I personally think this is going into the Metaverse and expanding the game even more, so we'll see what happens, I guess. And I probably should have mentioned this earlier, is if we're talking about specifically just the Metaverse, then I don't care. Rebrand it. The Metaverse is a really bland name, and if you're going to continue adding to it, if there's a bunch of stuff in early access, I don't think it's a big deal, as long as, again, it's under the umbrella of Fortnite. Fort Parody had this to say. If he's talking about a rebrand, then it's definitely not a good idea. Literally, everyone knows Fortnite because of the name. I know people who have heard the name, but don't know what the game itself is. We don't need another Twitter-like rebrand. Fortnite as a name is perfect. I like that everybody's using the Twitter and X thing, because that's kind of like reminding me what it would be, where it's like, oh, you have something that's so iconic. Why? But let me stop you guys one more time, real quick this time, guys. As you might know, I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. If you're interested, we upload daily on multiple channels. Check the description for direct links, as well as the top of the description. The link tree will be right there. Check out any of my other content. We have different niches in YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. Planarium had this to say. I think people are reading into this too much. I think he's talking about UEFN and the Metaverse modes, which are already a thing in Fortnite. I think Tim is just talking about how Epic wants to focus on developing this more in the future, like the Disney mode that's coming. Man, with everybody saying this, it's making me feel a little bit dumb that I was thinking, you know what, maybe he's trying to rebrand Fortnite. I know that I said the potential for rebranding the Metaverse is there, but maybe I was like jumping the gun a little bit too much, like the Fortnite community typically does over here. Zap had this to say. He's still made it clear multiple times during interviews that he doesn't like how Fortnite is still perceived as a BR, but only the successful Metaverse modes are BR related. He's trying to turn Fortnite into something that it's not, and if it means fully rebranding to shake the game's identity of being a BR, he will. Fortnite itself isn't something like Roblox. It's a battle royale at its core and will always have been seen that no matter how hard they try. I'm not saying Epic is neglecting BR, but Tim Sweeney clear wants to shift the focus away. Sorry about that. I didn't know, and I don't know much about what Tim says in interviews. I'm just going to take this at its word because I can see that being the case. But the problem is, and I understand that there is an issue, especially right now, with a BR player base, trying to, and Tim Sweeney wanting to get a BR player base, wanting to try all of these other Metaverse modes and kind of really get into them. And there's only so many people there that are going to actively want to play those modes. And that's why all of these other Metaverse modes are BR related. But look how far we've come so far, and the Metaverse is still in its infancy. When we're talking 5-10 years down the road, things are going to change. Fortnite's going to get more players. Things like even Ballistic, Lego, you're going to have more people coming to Fortnite for a variety of different reasons. And the player base in time, it's going to take a long time, guys. But in time, it's going to be a player base that is not just a BR player base. It's just the problem that they're having right now. And that's the vision that they want. That's the vision they want Fortnite to go. Benny Boy had this to say. Tim Sweeney doesn't seem to understand the fact that nobody cares about the Metaverse to begin with, and it hasn't helped with the lack of quality control with Epic and Mode's cycle of modes being released without enough content to support themselves in the long run, only to fail and be abandoned afterwards. Roblox is already a giant in that industry, and Fortnite is trying to replicate that, but so poorly they don't even work on their flawed system. Creative having any sort of integration to BR was already frowned upon as well, so no one's excited to change a game into something that has nothing to do with originally made them start playing. I understand the point here, but the problem is, again, that we're talking about like, oh, they're trying to be Roblox. You can say that about like anything really. It's like I start my own. I don't know if this is a good example, but the only thing I can think of is like I start my own pizza place across the street, and everybody's like, "Oh, but you're not Pizza Hut." Things take time, you know. But people, the weird thing is that everybody says this. People do care about the metaverse. I would say a lot of the Fortnite community more want to focus on Battle Royale, but these things take time. They're not neglecting Battle Royale. In Chapter 5, we had a lot of issues, and there was perhaps an issue of Epic Games like maybe having too much at once, but they've learned from that. Chapter 6 has been incredible. They're still giving BR all the love that it deserves. It'll be okay. It's not going to fail, and one day Fortnite, I do believe one day Fortnite is going to be just as big as Roblox. It takes time. It absolutely takes time. So if you want to talk a little bit more about what's going on in Fortnite, we just made a video talking about everyone's excitement for the next live event. You can check it out right here. I'd love to have you over there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.